Well, it's that time again. What? For my colonoscopy? No. A root canal? No. Worse. It's time for AutoCAD 101. All right. Today we're going to open up our assignment 2 title block. We're actually not going to end up changing it much. I'm not going to draw stuff here. We're going to do what are create some layers. Let me try to explain these. Layers, if you had a whole bunch of clear plastic sheets, and we really used to draw this way in offices, the sheets had little button holes in the top, and there was a bar that these sheets stacked on top of. And in this case, you can see how the layer below has like just the outside walls, and like there's one for the structural column grid, there's a layer for notes, there's a layer for the plumbing, and that's how we do things, and that's also how we'd share things with the engineers. We'd make a copy of ours and send it over, and so they were working on our backgrounds. I don't think anybody does this much anymore. I had a little trouble finding just an image, but anyhow, we do the same thing in AutoCAD. We're going to create separate layers, and if you're familiar with Photoshop or other software like that, you're probably familiar with the concept of layers. But each of these layers is going to have a different thing on it. We'll have a layer for text, we'll have a layer for dimensions, we'll have a layer for walls, a layer for the masonry, a layer for plumbing. In the case of where we're drawing details, we're basically looking primarily at, when we're doing those kind of drawings, at pin weight. So we'll have layers with dashed lines that don't show up very well, and we'll have layers with, big, fat, heavy profile lines and things like that. But today I'm just going to get us into the idea of creating some layers. We'll create the bulk of them kind of as we go along. But when we're all done, so that we don't have to do this every single time, just like how we've had to open up this stupid title block file every single time, wouldn't it be nice if that started up every time we started AutoCAD? Well, if you remember way back, I talked about drawing templates. When we go to File, Open, it always asks us what template, or, not Open, sorry, File, New, and it had a list of templates. One says AutoCAD.dwt. When we're done today, we're going to save our file as that AutoCAD.dwt, so that the next time we hit New, we'll have text styles, any line types we've loaded, any objects you use all the time you can put in there. It's a real good way of getting started quickly. Excuse me, too much soda, I've got the hiccups. Do most architects and AutoCAD people do this? Honestly, no. Most of them take an existing drawing, open it, save as, erase what they don't want, and start. And but this is a way of doing that. So I'm just teaching you a different way of doing it. You may find it useful, you may not. But first, you notice everything we've been drawing with has been a continuous line type. So let's start with the line type command, and that'll load. Sorry, my microphone flashed red. I wasn't sure if I was still recording. And so in order to use anything other than this continuous line type, we have to load that into our drawing. So we're going to type line type, LINETYPE. LT is a shortcut. And that brings up the line type manager. You'll notice right now we have continuous. That's the only one we can draw with. So we have to go to load. And then you'll notice in load we have a gazillion. You may not have this many. I have a lot that I've created, but you'll have a fair number of them. Today we're going to load center 2, which is twice as big as center 1, but center 2, dashed 2, and where's hidden 2? Hidden 2. I guess they're half as big as the normal hidden. hidden X2 would be 2 times as big. But we're going to get those. But you'll notice if we pick on center 2, pick, and I hit OK, well, it's here. Oh, you mean I have to do this for everyone? Oh my God, this is going to be annoying. The good news here is -2. If I scroll down here to hidden 2 and hold my control and the C key down and click on hidden 2, now they're both selected, and I could keep selecting a whole bunch more that way. Could have done all 3. I just wanted you all to know, if y'all have never used Control C like that, that's how it works. So we hit OK. I'm sure you probably have. Remember, I taught AutoCAD to old people as well as young people, so I always had to explain. Look, we can use Control C for copy and Control V for paste. Isn't that exciting? Yes, those things do work in AutoCAD with objects as well. But you'll notice now we have center 2, -2, and hidden 2 in our drawing. So we're good. And we hit OK. And our drawing looks exactly the same as it did. That's fine. There are multiple ways of doing layers. You notice you've got one right here that we could do a whole bunch of stuff right here. I personally kind of like the layer dialog box. Type layer, and it looks like this. It's just a little graphically easier for me to see. You probably have layer 0 and something that says layer 1, which isn't defined yet. Maybe you may just have 0 def points, because I did a save as last time. If you remember, I created points when I was showing you the lecture. This thing right up here, oops, here. Those points are created on a defined points layer. You may have one, it may be 0. I mean, maybe the color may be 0 or white. But here's where we're going to make our new layers. If there are other layers here, don't worry about it. We're going to make new ones. So this is all the stuff about line types. Ooh, there's the stuff. Here we are here. You'll notice it also lets us create new ones with Alt-N. Since that icon just screams new layer. Huh? But anyway, to make a new layer, click the button. It gives you the option. So now, in our case, we want to make one called ADT. So I'll type ADT. I want the color, in this case, to be yellow. You can either just pick yellow. You could type the 2 here as well, because you notice here I put 2-yellow. So click, and it takes it. Let's click this again. Most of the colors don't have names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I guess 1 through 7 are red, yellow, green, blue. Well, what is this one? Cyan, blue, magenta, and white. They have names. None of the rest of them do. That's 8 and 9. These are kind of interesting because they print gray. They're like a grayscale. We'll talk about those more later. For right now, let's go ahead and set. We set that to be yellow. We want it to be continuous, and we're going to set the line weight to 0.30. Ooh, rocket science. And we need to put in a description, so we click over here, and we put details. Oops, and my caps lock. However you want, it doesn't really matter. This details, the description part over here is really more to help you once you aren't, at the beginning you're not going to be that familiar with these. I'm going to talk about the AI layer list here in a minute in a separate video. But once you get this, click on new layer and we'll make the next one, which is ADTDE. So click new, and you'll notice that it's whatever layer was highlighted a second ago, it's going to keep those settings. So as you're going down through here, if you notice a couple of them are real similar, you can do that and it will, it may save you some time. But let's go back and we'll ADTDE for the name. It's red. Most all the demolition layers are red, which is what a DE extension means. It'll be a oh, it really should have a hidden. it should have a hidden 2-line type. Ooh, I found an error on Mr. Lane's stuff. Because all the demolition layers are indicating stuff to be removed. Oops. So go ahead and fix that. Line weight for that is 25. Probably a good thing that I showed you to do this. And we'll just put demolition details. Or detail, what did I put? Detailed demolition, that's fine too. Don't use that very often. Occasionally, most of the time that's used on the floor plan layers, and there's either an A wall demolition or an A floor demolition layer that gets put on. And then just keep typing. Now, one thing you ought to do periodically, even though you're not done, it's a good idea to go ahead and exit out, hit a Q save. Now, in my case, I haven't saved as assignment 5 yet, so I better do a save as. Doesn't really matter because we haven't made any changes to the file anyway, other than the layers, but nothing that would have like wiped out your material for grading purposes. And then we can start our layer thing again by typing layer, and you notice they're still there. In older versions of this, there was a save button down here, and I've had students, they would enter all the layers and click X, and it didn't save. Luckily, now, if you hit that X, it's already saved these. They're already there, so you're lucky. If you're in an earlier version, some offices are still running really old versions. Usually this is because they've got other software that works with AutoCAD, and it doesn't work with the newer versions, the newer window-based versions usually. But anyhow, one other thing I didn't talk about is, you see the little printer here? Like, let's look here at this one here, this layer, ZNP1. Let's click down, let's make that one. ZNP1. This is the non-plot layer. Z just means it's a Z sheet. Usually that's something like titles and stuff like that. The color is 105, so we type 105. If you want to hover over in here, you can actually find it, but just type the number. The line weight doesn't matter because we're going to set that one to not print. Remember when I was talking about that line that we drew across the middle of the bolt, that we could have left that and instead of erasing it, just turned it onto a non-plot layer? This is that non-plot layer. And we'll type that here, non-plot layer. We'll just put non-plot. Whoops. I'm not typing. I'm still not typing. Hopefully you're a better typist than me. No one but you's ever going to read these anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully you aren't being taught drafting by an English teacher who will grade for that. Ooh, am I in trouble now? Anyhow, go ahead and make all your layers. Once you have done that, and it's all of these, and if you think this is a lot, wait till you see the whole AIA layer list. Once you have all those, go File, Save, and then go File, Save As. Now, instead of saving it as assignment 5, we're going to save this not as a drawing file, but as a drawing template. And the drawing template we're going to save it as is that AutoCAD.dwt that AutoCAD starts with as a default. And we'll hit save. Yes, we want to replace it. Hopefully your machines will allow you to do this. They may not. It may be set up in a restricted directory. This may or may not work for you all. But anyway, if you're at home or something, you're doing it, this is how you do it. And it's going to ask you if you want a description, all this stuff. Just go okay. So let's close and File, New. I hit that. Oh, look, it's already coming up in our preview. And if we go to the layers, look, our layers are here as well. Excitingly exciting. Ooh. And that's all for it. For right now. I'm going to go do the lecture on the AI layers, and you'll have that too. But that's all for right now.